What's cracking, everyone? It's Ftdk's dropping knowledge. Well, I don't have anyone on yet, but I'm gonna do my introduction. Hey, so I see three people on. Thank you so much for joining me on a Sunday. This Ftdk's dropping knowledge coming at you once again with a little bit of a message, a little bit of knowledge. I didn't have a topic, but I ended up finding something to talk about. So we're gonna talk about some things. Hey, what's up, Oakland? Hi, nice to see you, Oakland. Everything nice to see you. God bless you. Thank you so much for jumping in and saying hi. I've got 5 people watching. Thank you so much for taking your time to view my little channel, my little lives. It gets interesting though. It gets interesting, and I think it'll get interesting today as well. Hey, what's up, Cali Big Dog? Nice to see you. Thank you for stopping by. I'm gonna do everything in my power to bust out a live daily. Like if I can jump on and have a daily live, I'm gonna do it. I know sometimes I'll get views, sometimes I won't get views, but it's all good. I just want to develop that. I want to have that as something that you guys can count on. That there will always be a live, right, coming from me, and it's always gonna be different. And as you already know, on my lives, I do put the link, and I will let people up. We can have conversations straight up. Hey, what's up, Hugo Torres? Nice to see you. Saludos to you. Happy Sunday afternoon to everyone. Happy Sunday afternoon to you, man. God bless you. Stay blessed, guys. Stay safe out there. I'm having coffee, man. It's not a cool day, but it's a good time for coffee. That's all I can say, man. I enjoy a good, like a strong cup of coffee. I like it black. I also like sweet coffees. Like I'll go to a Starbucks and I'll have Starbucks. Why not? Every now and then, whatever, I'll have it. But if we're talking everyday coffee, I just like it. Look, it's nice and dark. You guys can kind of see it there. I'm gonna show you guys. Look, it's black. That's black coffee. Yeah, you know. So it's a good cup of coffee for a man like me on a Sunday chilling on the live. So yeah, there's been a lot going on lately. It seems quiet, but it's not quiet. That's people need to differentiate and understand the times. Um, but it takes to be a good observer. Like you have to be a good observer. You have to be able to catch things. You have to be able to recognize when something is different in the horizon. You have to be able to do that. Let's see. I drink coffee all day. Oh, yeah. Me I kind of do too, bro. I kind of do too. The problem is that I drink like big ass mugs of coffee at a time. Like I can probably drink six of these cups. Okay, 6 of these cups of coffee. Maybe 7 or 8. To be honest, I can drink a few cups of coffee. But I'm not the only one though. Like my son, my wife, we all drink coffee around the house. My daughter doesn't drink coffee, so that just means more coffee for us. But yeah, a lot of interesting things have been going on. Now, see, people fail to accept or to give us credit, to give credit where credit is due. I think it's important, excuse me, to always give credit where credit is due. And that's why every time I jump on a live, every time that I put a video out, I always shout out Exposed Tube, ladies of Exposed Tube, everybody that's involved in the revolution, right? Even, people tried to discredit it, man. Man, how could you discredit something that has proven to work? I'm convinced that motorcycle is the same dude because it's that noisy ass motorcycle. Anyways, I mean, it's obvious that we've been putting work and that it's been affecting, and that's just a combination of a lot of things. It's a combination of a lot of things. The thing is that we took it seriously. Others took it as a joke. Others continue to take it as a joke and talk about how this is just the internet, right? This is just the internet. This is all just entertainment. Some talk about things and admittedly have admitted, okay, because even as recently as yesterday, right, have admitted to playing with things that shouldn't really be played with, for shits and giggles, for online banter, for you know for trolling purposes. I mean, I guess you can pretty much troll about anything, but there's certain things that I wouldn't troll on, or I wouldn't make fun of. And I just think that that's the problem, is when nothing is sacred, nothing is holy, like nothing deserves respect. I think there are things that deserve respect. I think that there are things that require that we're careful when we speak on them, and not take them lightly and not use them as props or as jokes to make content, you know? And I know that what I'm saying now, everybody and their mama has said it before me, right? But I'm going to be very specific as to what I'm discussing. I'm talking about like things that should only stay behind bars. Hey, what's up, Mr. Oxnard? Nice to see you, man. Shout out to you. Shout out to your family. Thank you for joining me. I got a bunch of little ants, but they're growing outside. Like they're outside, and where we hang our clothes, I think that's where they're like coming in. Yeah, Kelly, Big Dog, and Nugor in the house. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. Um, but yeah, so fundamentally, we've been putting in a lot of work, and the people that try to discredit it, they do it in ways in which it's like they're avoiding accepting the facts, right? They use they use clickbait phrases. They use "this is just the internet," shit like that to justify their ineffectiveness, right? Their ineffectiveness. We continue to do what we do besides attacks from people, Whoa. Yeah, that's right. Hey, what's up, Shankopotamus? Why, Shankopotamus, what's up, my friend? What's up? We're going to continue doing what we do. And it don't stop. And it don't stop. And it don't stop. I'm not even going to read it. It's just the hypocrisy and the bullshit. The hypocrisy and the bullshit in that statement. I'm not even going to read it. As I was saying, work is being put in. Work is being put in, and I have to, first of all, once again, give credit where credit is due. If it wasn't for the exposed tube movement that others try to discredit, right? Yeah, Mr. Oxnard in the house. What's up, Oakland? Everything. Nice to see you, Shankopotamus. Everyone that's in here, thank you so much. To the lurkers as well. Hit the like. Hit the like. Subscribe. You're already watching my shit. Hey, little white ferrets in here. Okay, I can't see, but I would have to open up my live on YouTube, which I haven't done. I'm gonna do that right now. Give me a second, guys. But yeah, work is being put in. Work is being put in, and and I once again, thanks to the exposed to movement, thanks to everybody that's been supportive. All right, here we go. Let me check. Let me check. I'm gonna put it right here so I can see everybody. All right, so let's see. Okay, I don't see Little White Ferret though. I don't see Little White Ferret. If you're in here, Little White Ferret, nice to see you. If you are, I know that you were. we had already spoken. So if you're watching this, little white ferret, God bless you. Hope you feel good. Hope everything is well. Saludos, Mr. Agnar Shanks. Yeah, excellent afternoon to everybody. So the work is apparent. The work is apparent, and Exposed to has done his thing. And we've gone, oh, okay. Oh, what's up, little white ferret? Sorry, still dozy from. Okay, well, thank you so much for being here and watching. Obviously, the weekends I want to get on a little earlier. I will be leaving, so I'm not going to be here like indefinitely. I do have shit to do. My family, we're taking our time getting ready, but we're gonna go have like dinner and just go take care of some things in a little bit. But I've got a few hours. I got a couple of hours. And I just wanted to talk about it because you guys already saw, like, you already see like these narratives that are being put out there. Um, I have no need to mention people. As a matter of fact, I avoid mentioning people. I avoid mentioning people because I think that it was up, machete. I think they're not, it doesn't do me or them any good to be mentioning them. I continue to move forward. I do continue to put those fools out on blast when we're talking about Skittles, when we're talking about fucking ratas. I'm going to continue putting them out. As a matter of fact, I'm working on a video, but I'm like taking my time with it. And at the end, I don't know if I'm even going to release it, but I don't want to rush it because there are a lot of moving parts to it. So yeah, we'll see if I put it out. If I put it out, it might be tonight. We'll see. What's up, Machete? Hey, what's up, Miss Yaya? Nice to see you. Saludos, Frank and Chat in the background at work. Was also watching WWE. Hey, but if you watch it, watch it. Dale, Miss Yaya. I'll be here for a little bit. But thank you so much for stopping by. And that's how we are. This is exactly how we are. We give each other a shout out. We support each other, and I just appreciate you guys stopping by, saying hi. Watching from wherever you're at. That's right, little white ferret. So the work is apparent now. If you guys like study, or you don't even really need to study that shit. I mean, if you watch enough fucking Japanese movies, those old samurai movies, you're gonna know that there was a moment in which, when all of the samurai battles and wars stopped, there was like an era of peace, right? So during that era of peace, a lot of samurais ended up being left out of their clans because their clans started shrinking, or their masters, when they started losing, power and riches, whatever. A lot of them committed ritual suicide. Oh, that's right, Miss Yaya. Nice to see you. Hey, what's up, Looney? What's up, man? Yeah, happy Sunday to you, bro. And what that meant is that a lot of, during times of peace, if you don't know peace, right, it becomes a struggle to learn what to do next, right? And I think that happens whenever you make any big changes in your life. There's going to be a period of adaptation, right? There's going to be a period of adaptation, and you might even, and I've always said this, you might even come to the conclusion, yeah, seppuku, that's correct, ritual seppuku. You might come to the conclusion that even that endeavor that you're training for, or that you're planning to go into, that might not even be what you want either. And I think that it becomes harder as time goes on to learn what to let go of, and to learn, well, no, let me rephrase it. It depends. Okay, so I'm going to say it like this. There are times in which it's hard to know what to let go of and what to keep, right? Because there are moments in which we might not have anything, and we just have to trust the process. But in between, making the best decision. Not all money is good money. Not all jobs are the best jobs. Sometimes we walk into a job with certain expectations, and we end up being exploited like to the max. Hey, what's up, Big Juan? Nice to see you, man. What's up, Sir Frank? Everyone in the chat, nice to see you, bro. So you can become entrapped by a job. You can become entrapped by your needs. When we were talking about the bare necessities the other day, you can be entrapped. You're going to be conditioned by your needs. You're going to be conditioned by the salary that you need to make. How many of us have stayed in a job only because we knew that we weren't going to get a better paying job somewhere else, and if we did, it was going to be worse than the job we have now. I mean, sometimes we stay in fucked up jobs for a while, until we can find a better job, a better paying job, in which we feel that we're a little more valued, right? I think we all go through those struggles, but I think that what makes us who we are is that we're resilient. That we can be going through shit, like a lot of us. A lot of us are going through shit. Like, I mean, how many of our brothers and sisters here in the revolution haven't recently gone through medical procedures? There's been a few. I mean, just planning for the procedure, right? Just planning for it is nerve wracking. Then going through the procedure, then going through the healing process. I mean, some of you guys are preparing to go into some sort of medical intervention. So I mean, even though you're going through all of that, some of you, while you're working, to still have time to jump on and say what's up and show support, man. We value that, that we truly value that. I don't take that for granted. I don't take none of that for granted, because I know that you guys are showing us love. What up, Sir Frank? Yeah, what's up, man? Yeah, Big Juan in the house, man. Prayers to Big Juan, prayers to Little White Ferret, prayers to Robert, anybody, man, to ill mannered, to Parque, to everybody that's been going through, their own personal struggle. We all are going through our own personal struggles. And sometimes that struggle can be resolved with money, you know? If we made a little more, if we earned a little more, if I could save a little more, if I can pay for that insurance that would cover this shit. No, sometimes it all comes down to how much money we're making. You know? That's right, Big One. That's right, Shankopotamus. But apart from praying for each other, I think we've done a good job in also demonstrating solidarity. There have been some fucking, I'm gonna say it straight up, man. There have been some straight up criticisms towards that ladies have exposed to, for like the raffles and shit like that, or for like collecting money to do shit. Man, we're actually doing the shit we say we're doing. You know, these women are doing and putting the work behind it, and they've got the receipts, and they'll put the receipts out all the time. Hey, what's up, D Berry Wood? What's up, my friend? Salutes to you. There are different ways of going about helping people, and you can't knock it just because you're not doing it, or just because it's a way that you wouldn't do it. Maybe you wouldn't do it a certain way, so you knock it. Like, I hear content creators, for example, get upset because other content creators have time to make videos. Fuck, I make time to make videos. Like, I'm working and I'm editing videos, so what, does that make me a bad guy? It's like, we shouldn't be so quick to criticize how other people are doing shit. What we need to look at is what it is that they're using their content for. What are they using their channels for, right? What is it that they're putting out there? That's what we should be criticizing. We shouldn't be criticizing if someone has more time to make videos or not. We shouldn't be criticizing whether people want to monetize with their channels or not. And everybody is in YouTube for a different reason, but I believe that the messaging behind what we do is important. Hey, what's up, Helga? Nice to see you. Hi, everyone. Good to see you all. We send ours back, Helga. I know it's probably what is it 10 already over there? Well, no, it's like 6. What time is it, Helga? What time is it over there? That's right. B Wood, Helga's in the house. Yeah, salute to Shane, salute to everybody. Once again, the link is right there if anybody wants to hop on. I'm gonna be here probably maybe another hour and a half, guys. Maybe 2 hours tops. Yeah, because we're gonna go out. So, but we're just taking our sweet ass time. I showered. We already had lunch. I showered. I'm just chilling. So I decided to do this live because I do want to talk about those things, man. I think people want to minimize the shit we do, but the reality is that we've been putting in a lot of work. We've had a lot of guests, right? Jump on our channels. As a matter of fact, shout out to Chill, shout out to Slugs. I think Slugs and I are gonna do something together, so stay tuned for that. We're gonna probably get on the live together. We'll see how that goes. But the whole point of this is that we've always said that we've been about opening eyes, building community, and having good conversations. Hey, what's up, the Hangman? Nice to see you, brother. Nice to see you. God bless you out there, man. Stay strong, stay healthy, bro. You got to stay healthy. You know how it is, brother. Health is wealth. Health is wealth. Remember that. Don't be too manly or too womanly to not seek medical attention if you have. I could flake out at any time. Okay. Yeah, salute to the hangman. That's right. Salute to the hangman. Helga, what time is it over there? Let me know if you can. But yeah, so I just, I don't want to let go of the fact that people make up shit, and they make up comments and they'll criticize erroneously and they'll make up narratives. So first and foremost, ladies of exposed to, they're helping out the community. Now, obviously, the community that we first branch out to is our own community. I mean, we have hundreds of people watching. Yeah, yeah, we're gonna do that collab, man. We're gonna do something together, bro. We were talking about it the other day on my live, so hopefully it goes through. But once again, if anything, it's just to bring like-minded individuals together and put our perspective out there, And I think that we have a lot of shared um, ideologies, but I'm sure that there are differences as well, and that I think is the important thing. And I think that what we've been demonstrating lately, guys, and you guys have been seeing it on my lives, you guys have been seeing on the lives with ET, is that we may all have differences of opinion, but we can still all rock with each other. Now there are going to be some decisions that are just made, Like I'll give you guys an example. I'm respectful to anybody, and if someone were to jump on and we can have a good conversation, it's all good to me, as long as we're respectful. But I know that there are certain individuals that I could not have that conversation with because the disrespect has been too great, and because I don't buy the whole, oh, it's just the internet. Oh, I'm just fucking around. This is just fucking cosplaying. I don't buy into that shit only because even though I understand that it's bullshit, that it is a cosplaying thing, even though I know that it's just a trolling mechanism, people have been killed over stupider shit, you know? Like people have gotten in trouble over like lesser shit. And so like opening the door to that is my issue. Like opening to the door to that and trying to pull me into that shit is what bothers me because I don't think it's cool. I don't think you should ever put anyone in any type of harm's way on purpose unless you're ready to stand on it too, And that's been my problem with how certain trolls have operated, where it becomes targeting your livelihood, targeting your security or your feeling of security. like actively like stalking you. You know, to me that's a mistake because that person is putting themselves at risk out there. So we need less of that in the world, right? Y'all have a great rest of the night. Hey, you too, Big Juan. Take care, my brother. You know, and that to me is one of those things that it should never have gotten to that point, right? So now that we're like at some semi sort of peace, semi, I don't know, semi peace, mid peace, I don't know how you can call it. Words have power. I believe that words definitely have power. I mean, words have started wars, right? Words have started fucking melees and just bullshit. Just someone talking recklessly can cause fucking like the ultimate harm, you know? And so I think we have to be very careful about even how we get back at people, like how we get our get back. I believe in getting get back, but it should never be to where you put someone in danger, man. I just don't see it that way. Let's see. Y'all have a great rest of the day. Just wanted to stop by and say hi, show some support. I'm heading to Long Beach bike cruise. One, you guys need to join me. Okay. One day you guys need to join me. It's good to get out and be. Yeah, man. Hey, God bless you for that, bro. Like, yeah, that's why I try to go out as much as possible and always get out the house. Like I'm gonna be out the house in a little bit, with the whole family. So yeah, man, it's always good to go out there, do some exercise, stretch your legs, and you can meet people. That's a very good practice, Big One. Thanks for sharing that, man. No, to Long Beach bike cruise. Hey, if you guys are in the area and if you guys can make it to Long Beach, do so, man. Maybe you'll see Big Juan out there pedaling and shit. Sometimes you don't have to turn the other cheek or punch in the mouth. Yeah, but see, here's the thing about that, Shank, that online, that punch doesn't work. Like online, you can't really put the content out there. It tends to get very personal, and that's what the part I don't understand. I don't understand how like internet shit can get so personal to where you want to go out there and actively search out my shit. Like, I'm going to stand by what I say, and I'm going to continue doing it this way because I believe that I've gotten power. I think I've gotten authority. I think I've gotten the green light by whatever you want to call it. To me, I think God has given me the green light. You can call it the cosmos, you can call it the universe, you can call it energy, you can call it whatever you want. But I honestly think that I've been given a task and I'm completing the task and I pray for that task to be fulfilled. And that there's nothing wrong in saying it. And I think that more people should stand by their beliefs and more people should, meditate or do whatever they have to do to consolidate their beliefs, to consolidate what they feel, what they're growing to become, because we're all growing. Like, we don't stop growing. The only people that stop growing are those that actively place themselves to not grow and to not learn, right? To make that a conscious decision to not let any type of information, any type of influence. I mean, because influence can be good or bad, but you need to be strong enough to filter that shit. And you will never be strong enough to filter the true good or the true bad if you're limited in your understanding. That's why we have to remain students. And those of us that are within the exposed to movement, the exposed to revolution, have come to understand that we're at a constant renovating, at a constant renewing and rethinking and relearning things. Now, I'm not saying that we're all going to agree because it's obvious that we don't, but what I'm saying is this. We are eventually, even with our differences, like-minded in the more important aspects of life. And it's that like-mindedness that has made us who we are, right? In these areas, on YouTube, on TikTok, anywhere else that we decide to take it, Twitch, Kick, whatever it is. It's not going to stop. And I think that we have to be surrounded and we have to be allied with like-minded channels as well. And I think that a lot of people act as though, thanks son, as though I'm crazy, or as though we're crazy, because we require a certain level of, thanks son, a certain level of loyalty. Why not ask for loyalty? Like, I want to understand why we're criticized because we expect loyalty from those that are a part of the movement. I expect loyalty. I do. I expect that those that rock with me understand why they're rocking with me, right? But if you're rocking with me and then but you're also rocking with a channel that's going against me, like, I don't understand it, and then I can't trust it. Now that is my stance on why I require loyalty, because I don't know at what point you can turn on me, right? And it's okay if you do, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong, but what I'm saying is that I don't want to have that guessing game going on. Like, I'm just, come on. And it would be foolish of me and it would be hypocritical of me to say that it doesn't affect. It does affect. That's why we avoid shit that we know triggers us. That's how I get away with not letting shit trigger me, because I think about it and I choose not to let it trigger me. Other shit I do because I'm passionate about it and I want to continue being passionate about certain things. But there are other things that I'm not going to give you any control over, you know? And that's I think that that's been another ingredient to our success, is that we continue moving forward even though we have been attacked and we do get criticized and people try to minimize the shit that we do, you know? And once again, I mean, I like being counted out. I like being the underdog. I like for people to underestimate me. I enjoy it. It kind of even bothers me sometimes. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be very honest with you guys. Sometimes it bothers me when people use the word articulate. Like, I have to see who it's coming from, to be honest with you guys, because sometimes the word, or even the word articulate, like when you say, "Oh wow, he's very articulate," it's like, why are you surprised? Like, why are you surprised that I'm articulate? Like, I think it depends on who it comes from, but that's like a microaggression, you know. It's like you see someone of color and they're speaking English in a certain fashion, in a certain way, and because they speak it, correctly and connected without much of an accent, maybe it's neutral. Oh, you're very articulate. Like, why were you surprised that this articulation came from the mouth that belongs to this colored body? Is that what you're trying to say? So how we perceive the world is important when you get into shit like this. Let's see, Cali Big Dog. That's why we whack them as soon as they show up. We don't owe them an explanation because we already know how they. Yeah, exactly. Look, so I got a little. This is like a little pastry that my son bought. So I'm just gonna take a bite. Give me a second, guys. It's like a custard thing. It's pretty good. Anyways, now once again, I'm all for dialogue. I'm all for dialogue. And I've seen some conversations going down which I think are good. That's good. If you can talk, and if you can have a conversation which will reduce or eliminate hostilities, you know even if friendship isn't the end game, just it's just the whole, you know what, Stop talking about me. I'll stop talking about you. Let's keep it that way. You do your shit, I'll do mine, but just leave me out of it. I'll leave you out of my shit. That's a good understanding. I think that's pretty good. Like I don't knock that type of shit. But what I don't like is when you say you're gonna do something and then you do the total opposite. That's why earlier, if you guys saw, there was a comment by someone that said that why do I keep mentioning that person's name? Is like, wait a minute. You don't think I'm constantly being sent screenshots of you commenting about me? Like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, fuck you. Straight up, fuck you. And that's the type of shit that I don't respect. I don't respect that double fucking bullshit. Like, okay, it's good for you, but not for me. Like, I kept my end of the bargain, motherfucker. Also, fuck you. And if I do decide to mention you, it's because I'm sick of your shit. Straight up. I'm sick of your fucking little boy bullshit. And see, and that's another thing, right? When you see the childish antics and tactics, you learn not to let it affect you because you understand what level they're coming from, right? And I think that that is important too. Hey, what's up, the hangman? I really feel that some are just jealous of the unity we have. We are a tight group, and that shows. I think that the people that don't like us wish they could have what we got. I think that's a part of it, hangman. I do agree. I think it's a part of it. But I do think that there's other parts to it too, but that's definitely a big one. I would say it's probably like 65% of it. But there are like other things where I think that there's seriously are people that their goal in life is to see shit fucking burn. That they get pleasure out of seeing shit destroyed and falling apart. Or like to be able to smear the image of something just because they can. That's a real thing too, you know and that's why when see we can have a big conversation around this, because when we talk about like the power structure, right, like the power structures and the power dynamic, like at work, church, anywhere where there is a power dynamic, where there is a hierarchy, right, and where that hierarchy can be exploited and it can be manipulated and it can be weaponized, it will be weaponized. Like, maybe not everybody, but there will always be someone to weaponize and to take advantage of their hierarchy of that that power dynamic. It happens all the time. That's why here, some people may think a certain way because they'll see me here with my lives. They'll hear me on the collective. They know that I put out videos. They know that I participate in the chats and shit like that. So they start forming narratives like I'm like somewhere up there in the fucking command center of what we do. As explosive, but I'm just a participant like anyone else. Like, and the person that least comments on the chat, or maybe they don't even comment in the chat, but we know who they are. And they make a suggestion. That suggestion has enough as the same weight as any suggestion I can make. And I think that that's what makes a difference, is that we truly see each other as equals, right? For sure, there's more to it. Oh, yeah, yeah. You know, it was good. But that's a big part, Hagman. That's why you see them come into our chat. That's why you see them here. Look, I know that there are some of us that go into their lives and go into their chats and do what you guys do. Fuck it. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. All of us have a different way of attacking this shit, right? Of putting the work out there, and being a constant presence and a constant reminder that we're out here doing our shit. You know what I mean? And if that means going into their lives and leaving comments, if that means like local bird and runner's pug, shout out to runner's pug, man, that's a little homie. And everybody that goes into TikTok and puts their money on whoever is battling the fucking weirdos, all of that helps. All of that helps because we're spreading the message, man, and we're attracting the attention of these people to come and see what the fuck is going on. So I do believe that it has a lot to do also with the fact that they wish that they could have the type of influence that we've demonstrated to have. Let's see. Hopefully that clown is lurking on his burner account and listening. I don't know, man. It's just crazy to me. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I do not have another user. Like the user that I have, I'm lying. I have two users, but one that I use specifically for work and the other that I use specifically to go online and do the but that's it. Only because, I think those two things have to be separated. But other than that, I'm not out there creating profiles. And all of these guys seem to need to have a second, third, fifth profile to begin with, just to be trolls. Hey, what's up, Facto? Nice to see you, man. Nice to see you. Chilling, man. It's getting hot over here. I'm eating my little pastry. Clowns, lurkers, two-faced trolls. You know what the worst is for me, guys? And I think that's what's happening to you, Hangman. Stockton in the hey, shout out to you, Nasty Pun. Thank you for jumping on. Nice to see you. Shout out to Stockton. Shout out to everybody, man. Wherever you're listening from, wherever you're interacting from, from north to south to east to west, anywhere. Thank you so much for stopping by and saying hello. But for example, like recently with the Hangman, they've been trying to talk about fucking paperwork, and we all know that's bullshit. But they do that all the time, and it's not limited to just the trolls. Like fucking Skittles and Joker have done the same shit too, where they'll use the threat of paperwork, non-existent paperwork, to build narratives, right? So I think that is another problem that I have with the type of shit that's been going on. Yeah, free local bird, man. Yeah, man, I haven't seen him in a long time. I hope he's good. What's up, Peaceful Sasquatch? Man, this is good. It's like a little caramel custard dessert type thing. Anyways, that was really good. Thank you, son. Yeah, so we can't minimize what's been going on. And I know they want to, and I don't like the rumors about ladies have exposed to. Like I don't like the framing of how they discuss the work that they're doing. Look, ladies of exposed to are really trying to help the community, buying backpacks, and most of those resources come from the followers anyway. But they know what's up, and we present receipts. You know what I mean? So it bothers me to hear people talking shit without really knowing what the fuck is going on. And for them to spread those narratives on lives, it bothers me, right? But at the same time, I do try to respect everybody's difference of opinion, but I think that those aren't differences of opinion. Like those are straight up narratives that are being created, allegations that are being created, I'm sorry, talking about the ladies of exposed to getting money. Like fuck that shit. I'm not going to let anybody talk shit about that because that's not true. No, and we've proven many times that we do exactly what we say we're going to do with everything that comes in. Especially, I mean, the ladies have exposed it, especially like I don't do raffles. We don't do none of that. We don't do raffles, right? What we now there is a spinning wheel raffle. So let me we don't do raffles in the sense that we're not going to sell you a ticket, right? That no, but there is the raffle of the spinning wheel, but that's just because we have a little kitty there, man. And people decide that they want to donate to the cause, they do, and that's it. But I think it's important for us to be able to talk about these things and to say, man, you guys are fucking stupid making up these narratives. I'll be right back, guys. Give me a second. Almost there, almost there. All right, here we go. Here we go. Sorry about that, guys. I had to go get the fan because it's getting hot. But anyways, it's hot in here, but it's cool out there. Out there, there's a breeze. Yeah. So I don't like the narratives. I've never liked the narratives. I've never liked the whole, um, trying to dox and stalk people. Never enjoy none of that. I'm glad they've calmed down. To be honest with you. And I don't think that should ever be permitted, man. That should never be permitted. Like we all have differences of opinion, and we can create content, and that content does not have to be shit that you're trying to dig up to hurt someone, you know? Or putting yourself in a situation in which you can get hurt. I don't know how any of you guys would feel to know that someone's following you around. Like, what measures would you take if you knew that was going on? Like, think about it. Think about it. Imagine one day you're scrolling through YouTube and you see that someone has been following where you work, right? Or gone close to around where you work or to around where you live. Like, is that jokes? Is that funny? Like, can we consider that a joke? I want to know. If you have an answer, please let me know. Once again, if anybody wants to jump on, you can go ahead and do so. Let me go ahead and put the link there. Once again, it is pinned, but I'll put it once again. So you got anybody wants to jump on or has time, you can do so. I'm going to be here for a little while. But I don't think any of that is funny. I don't think any of that is a game. And there are people that truly suffer from PTSD or other type of ailments or psychological difficulties, right? Or challenges. And we can't expect people to react as though it's a joke, as though it should be taken as a joke, right? And we've all seen streamers and content creators that go out there and harass people and stalk people and do shit to people sometimes end up on the wrong end of a gun. Like there's videos out there of that. So anytime that we can prevent that shit, it should be prevented. That should not be permitted at all whatsoever. That should not be content. It should never be taken as though it's a joke, as though it's playing. And no, it's not. It's not a playful thing. You know? So don't blame me if I decide to pray against that. Why wouldn't I pray against it? To me, that's a a conscious evil that you're putting out there, because that is evil. No, to try to put someone or line someone up to lose their jobs, to be harmed, that's evil. I don't care what you say. Don't call me evil because I'm praying against that shit. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of shit to talk about, But before I continue, I want to read this to you guys. Okay, this is Niccolo Machiavelli. All right, all courses of action are risky, so prudence is not in avoiding danger, which is impossible, but calculating risk and acting decisively. Make mistakes of ambition and not mistakes of sloth. Develop the strength to do bold things, not the strength to suffer. So, when I first read this a while back, I was already on my path. And I decided that I was going to be bold in my ambitions. I was going to be bold in the steps that I took. And that's why to me, associating myself with the exposed to revolution was not difficult because we make bold moves. And we're very bold about how we express our ideas. And I think that we've been very upfront about the fact that we're all different. All of us are different, you know? Machiavelli, a man of his own right. Yeah. But I think a lot of what he said is still relevant because there's a lot of men that follow that example, that lead by the example set by his writings. And to me, it's important to know how people move, you know, because I like to move accordingly as well. So what do we do? Like where do we go? Like what is it? What is the next bold move? Well, there's a lot of things that we can do and that we're going to do. But I think that one of the main things that needs to be done, as always, is for us to develop ourselves and to become better at what we do and to start working on those things that we need to work on to be even more effective, even more productive, even more prosperous, and even more blessed. I believe that we have to seek leveling up straight up. Well, that's where I go. Like my mind is set on doing it better, doing it more efficiently, and having greater gains because of it. Like, why not? Well, you think people that run businesses aren't thinking of what their new gains are going to be for the next year? Do you think their projections are lower or are greater? What do you think? Like when you project to the future, do you project on a downward scale or on an upward scale? I want to know. Because if you're pointing downward, it should be for expenses. But if you're pointing upward, it should be for finances, for gains, for prosperity, for everything that you need to acquire. That's the type of mentality that we need to have. Like, in order to be successful in everything that we do, even in this content creating, even in standing as opposition to all of these weirdos, we have to seek leveling up. We have to seek greater understanding. We knew was good up until we used it up until yesterday. But tomorrow, and moving forward will bring new challenges, and we have to be ready for them. We have to constantly be training. Constantly. Let's see, a coworker that I had that I had to terminate got disgruntled and actually followed me and found out where the rancho was located. So he sent a tweaker to break into my property, but my dog stopped it. Yeah, that is some crazy shit. No, but there you go. You know, you were prepared. You have dogs on your property, and I also know that you are not defenseless. You know, but how do you prepare for something like that? Like how is that, or how should that even be permitted? Does something happen to that person? What happened to that person, Hangman? I mean, imagine putting yourself out there like that. Because the crackhead eventually, if he gets shot, he's gonna start saying and he's gonna start mentioning names. Let me see. That man kept coming, so I had to take the law into my own hands. The issue was extinguished. Okay, I don't even want to know. Sorry, I asked. Sorry, I asked. Let me take that off. I mean, that's what I'm saying. You know, we look. I understand what it is to walk around and needing people to understand not to fuck with you. Like I can understand that there's a certain level of guard that we develop, but it also comes first full circle to where if you're already aware of what you're capable of, you don't have to announce it to the world. You just walk around freely. And I think that that's like the arrogance that people sometimes think I have, but it's just me being secure in that I know that I'm ready for whatever needs to happen. Like I know that I'm gonna make the right decisions when it comes. Frank, can I call in? Yeah, the link's right there, bro. I mean, you gotta come in through the link, bro, not through the telephone. Let me put it up again. All right, let me put the link here. It's right there, bro. But yeah, so once again, you know, if you ever decide, like if all of these dudes ever decide to go at each other again, man, keep it at the content level. You know, there's no need to get into shit that can righteously be a problem later on. Like, you know, and it could turn into life and death decisions. That's the thing. Is like we don't need things to escalate ever to that level, you know? But even so, even with those types of attacks, we've continued. We've been resilient. You know, and I think that, you know, last night when we were on the collective, hey, what's up, Oakland? Give me a second, Oakland. Hey, how's it going, Oakland?
Hi,
¿Cómo
hear me?
estás? Talk to me.
Akira, trying to figure this out.
It's a little different, but it's not that hard. It's very similar. Very similar.
I, for some reason, can't find my pictures on my laptop. So,
Ah, okay. Yeah, but don't you look like a big O right? You look like a
oh,
big, like a letter O. So what's up? ¿Qué me dices, Oakland? Have you been listening to my rambling?
I've been listening to some of it. I
Okay.
was trying to figure it out, and I stopped listening.
So no, what I'm talking about is the fact that you know we've been putting in the work, right? But apart from putting in the work, we've had to deal with a lot of bullshit, like a lot of attacks from people. But and then the way that we've been attacked, like the whole like doxing shit, all of that shit, like shouldn't be allowed. And I think that right now we're in a relative time of peace, relative time of peace. And what I'm saying is that if you know, if things ever become heated again, that it should just remain at creating content, that it should never be about doxing, about trying to follow people and stalk people. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. What do you think about that, Oakland?
Absolutely. I think um, we, entre comillas, have been, ¿cómo se dice, targeted
Yeah.
by individuals that don't have the same morals and beliefs that we have as far as respecting boundaries. And so that's how we get into those situations. And then they get mad because we respond how they don't want us to respond.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
then you
You know,
get to
that's
like
the
last
thing.
night with L, Bam Bam trying to get a truce.
Oh yeah, I saw that, and so here's the thing, Oakland. I'm never gonna knock an honest conversation, right? I'm
Mhm.
never gonna knock it. I'm a firm believer. Like I said, I've said before, hablando se entiende la gente. Sometimes you just gotta talk it out, and maybe you can work some type of shit out. Now, if that conversation that they had was an honest conversation and it works for them, hey, more power to them. You know what I mean? But that does not mean, like, if it was us, for example, that we're gonna be friends. It just means, okay, don't fucking don't involve me in your shit. I'm not gonna involve you in my shit. Leave me the fuck alone. Yes, too. Like that could be an
Right.
understanding too, right? Like, what do you think about that?
Well, I totally agree. And I think it's probably the best for both sides because it's not like you're going to become friends again.
Yeah,
Now, if his truce is like when Googleplex spoke to him, and then as soon as he got off the phone, he turned around and still kept doxing them, it's like, come on.
yeah,
So I'm very hopeful that with Bam Bam, it is tú por tu lado, yo por el mío. Y cada quien.
yeah, yeah. I mean, once again, I don't even understand how it got to how it got. You know what I mean? I don't understand it. Because Oakland. I mean, you've been with us. You've been probably even longer than I've been with Exposed to. But we've always been straightforward as to what our mission has been, and who we've gone after. And then all of these other people we try to ignore. Like, I've tried to ignore them to the point where you could not ignore them anymore. And so we've had to respond. We've had to do all of those things. But what do you think about that, about us having to have responded, because we did try to ignore it? What do you think about, like, responding to trolls, and what are your thoughts?
A whole like we respond the way they don't want us to respond, which is not responding. So
Yeah,
they keep poking at it and they keep poking at it. And then we actually do respond with receipts. And then they get mad, they get defensive. And then it's like, why are you picking on me? Well,
yeah,
you started it. Like, don't start something you don't want to finish. So, mejor no digas nada.
yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I agree. And that's how we grew up. Remember? Yeah. What's up? Two times. Nice to see you. I mean, the way we grew up was like, el que se agüita pierde, right? El que se agüita pierde. But there were certain things that you already knew that, okay, quizás no te estás aguitando, but you're taking it too far. Like, if we're just shit talking, and all of a sudden you go and go grab a brick, now you're tripping. You know what I mean? So these fools were tripping. Like, they started just tripping out. And
You
I
gotta
think.
take it how you give it.
Hmm.
You gotta take it how you give it.
Yeah.
So, like,
So,
when my
so let
kids
me
used to play fight, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say when my kids used to play fight and one of them would come complaining that the other one hit him, my question was always like, ¿Qué le hiciste?
Yeah.
¿Qué le hiciste? ¿Qué andaban haciendo? Because no fue por nada. So don't
Yeah.
come complaining to me if you guys were, you know, fighting, play fighting or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree. I agree. Now, what do you think? So, this is the first time you and I have actually had a conversation. So, thank you so much for jumping on, because it gives me the opportunity to ask you things from your perspective. I think that, a lot of times we get the male perspective, but I like getting the female perspective as well. So, what do you think about when you hear them say, like, the trolls, the haters, everybody, the other side, whichever side you look at, when they say this is just the internet and it doesn't matter? What do you think about that? Like, what are your thoughts on it? Do you agree with that? Do you think it's not just the internet? What can you say?
I say it depends.
Okay.
Um, when you start getting into personal information, it's not the internet.
Okay.
But when you're just shit talking or showing proof of shit that you're saying is not true or al revés, proving yourself, it's the internet. But once it anything personal, like calling somebody's job, like giving somebody's address, the phone
Yeah.
number, like we
What
should
about
talk between each other, but when you're
what
putting it
about
out there,
what
it's not
about fake jackets? Would fake jackets constitute personal, like a personal offense? Do you think a fake jacket would also be disrespectful?
I mean, that's a little tricky because obviously the jumbo jacket is not like okay.
Yeah.
And also there's like, okay, you're putting on the jacket, but are you insisting that it's real? Insisting that
Mm.
or you just talk shit just to piss somebody off and then let it go?
Yeah, because I mean, eventually, if you keep saying it, you're going to be asked to put out the paperwork or to put out the
Right.
proof. You know,
Mhm.
that's what it comes down to. So I mean, but some dudes have the audacity of just making shit up, and they know they're never gonna like have any proof. You know, so I just that's where it bothers me because I'm like, man, you know, you're playing with the integrity of someone's image. You know, like you don't know who's watching these videos. Like, there's a lot of people that are just lurking. You know, and you don't know if one of those people lurking could be your boss and shit, right? Right? Your boss found out you have a YouTube channel, and all of a sudden you're making all kinds of stupid remarks, or someone's making remarks about you. It's like, I just think it's irresponsible. Like we even though it's the internet, and I agree, there's you can shit talk because we shit talk all the time, but even that shit talking has to be real. It cannot be based on bullshit, right? I don't know what you think about that.
I agree. I agree. Regardless of what you say, whether it's real or not, it's the reality is going to come out. It just depends on how long it's going to take and how bad is it going to get for it to get there. And so, if you're putting on a jacket on somebody that definitely messes up their reputation or s- por extrema their livelihood,
Yeah.
you know, that's serious. That's not the internet.
No, I totally agree. Look, KG Frizzle says, Frank, I'm out and about. I'll be listening in. All right, shout out to you, KG Frizzle. I had her on yesterday. Shankopotamus is in here. Everyone's watching. So, yeah, so I want to ask you this as well. So, you know how we call ourselves, obviously, the Exposed to platform was created by ET, right? We've all, you know, somehow we all came together. We all started talking to each other, and we've become, you know, pretty good friends, almost family sometimes. You know, some of us are having conversations behind the scenes, and we're really getting close. What could you say? Like, what has your experience been within the Exposed to movement, like and the people that you've met? Like, what has your experience been, and why are you within the movement? If you can let us know.
I've said this before that when the Basura Brothers, como dice Miss Yaya,
Mhm.
they decided to go on TikTok, I felt like Triple P felt. And I was like, well, I'm not on TikTok. I'm not going to go there. But by this time, I was already not really listening to Skittles because
Mhm.
he sexualizes everything.
Yeah,
And I was listening less and less of Joker because of Skittles. And
yeah,
so I've been listening to ABA for longer than ET. And I think AP is the one that directed me too. Like he talked about ET. And so that's how I ended up there. And then it's just the friendship, the camaraderie, the real speak.
yeah,
So, and in addition to, like, everybody's hella smart. I've told you guys I watched the stupid Korean Chinese dramas and I saw my IQ was dropping. But when I'm listening to y'all in the collective, I think it's going up a little bit.
Oh, that's good. That's good. But I think that all of us bring something different to the table. Every one of us. And I think, for example, you have a lot of life experience that you can share with us that'll make us see things differently as well. And I think we all have that. We
Yeah.
all bring something new, bring something fresh, and the fact that we all are allowed to speak, we all can jump on, we can all be a part of it. I think is it makes it different too. um like, I know that you participate, I know that you don't always participate, but what motivates you to also jump on and to have your conversation out here with us on the lives?
I'm pushing myself to do something out of my box.
Okay.
And it's kind of been happening, a transition that's been happening in the last few years, to be honest. And so that's why sometimes I'm like, my voice is a little cracky because I start
No,
getting anxiety.
it's all good.
But
No,
and I
it's
enjoy everybody. I enjoy. I do have to say though, honestly, sometimes I want to jump on, but I don't because then I can't see the chat. So I can't.
okay.
It's so funny the chat. Can't always interact with it.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, if on the StreamYard you could activate the chat and you can log in to see it. So you could do that on the StreamYard.
I have to
As a
pay
matter of
attention if I'm looking at
Oh
that
yeah,
and I'm
oh,
moving in.
that's true. That too. That too. That's true. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're either that's true. You're either in the panel or on the chat. You can't be doing both. That's true. Because I do see things, for example, that people are saying on the chat, but then I really can't respond to it because we're having this conversation over here with the panel. But I think that when I have my lives, that's why I try to see what people are saying, and if there's a comment that we can talk off of, it's a little easier here. I think to do that. Um, what do you most enjoy? Let's say, well, I guess you enjoy the collective, and I know that you said that you gain knowledge from that. What are some of the topics that you would like to hear more of, or that you think are would be interesting to discuss on the collective or on any of our lives? What would it be?
One of those I don't know what I don't know.
Okay.
Like the subjects that have come up on the collective are things I have never really had a second thought of. Maybe I heard it in passing, but never actually had some sort of more in depth reasoning of it. And so that's why I enjoy the collective. And then ultimately it turns into recipes and food and movies. It's a weird
Yeah,
transition.
the conversation ends up transitioning into, yeah. We end up talking about food most of the time too. That's crazy. No, but yeah, you know what I enjoy about the collective and jumping on is the fact that I can hear other people and their ideas. I think sometimes because of how we live, because we have to work, we're in traffic, all of these things. Sometimes we're just in our head. Like sometimes we're just bouncing shit off of the top of our head, having I have a lot of internal conversations. I am a like a talker to myself. Like I'll be talking to myself as well. But I
Yeah, I
enjoy
talk
being.
out loud to myself. So
Yeah. Oh, you do? See, yeah,
especially
I
at
do
work.
that. Yeah, I do that sometimes too. Well, like, do you do it often?
Yeah. That's why I keep my door closed. Like they're gonna be like, "What? Who's she talking to me?" No, I'm this. This is not working how I wanted to do.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, I mean, but then when I'm on the collective, I can hear other people. But I would want more, like, I would want it to switch around, like other people to jump on just to hear everyone else's perspective. But it takes time, like you said. I mean, it is a process. Like, was it hard for you before to jump on a live and to speak on a live? Was it difficult for you?
Yes, it was. It was. That's the first time I went on. I did it because I was sick.
Okay.
So, like, I don't have a voice box, but my voice sounds different right now, and I can barely speak.
Yeah,
It's
it's like
just
you're tightening up. Your voice is tightening up a
so I was slowly coming out, and then even with being on Ladies of Exposed to, like, I kept talking with Miss Yaya about getting on, and I'm like, no, no, no. And then she got me on a soft day, and it was like, okay. And then I was like, damn, why did I say yes? But I've
no,
enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it.
but it's good. It's good for you to do it. It's good for you to keep doing it because that's how you get better at it. You know, you get better the more you do it, the more comfortable and easier it gets. You know, I've been talking my ass off for years. That's why I can jump on a camera and just start going at it, start picking apart different ideas and discussing things just because I've had the opportunity to speak to others, to be in front of others, to do seminars. Like I've done seminars, I've done all kinds of shit like that. So it does come easy to present topics, to talk about them, and to ask questions as well.
Yeah.
What is something
I'm
that you
definitely not
think?
comfortable. I'm sorry.
Go
I
ahead.
was gonna
Go ahead.
say I'm definitely not comfortable talking, like being the one talking, even though I should be because of my career. I
Yeah.
should be able to speak in front of people, even if it's a small group or a large group. But I'm not very comfortable with that, and even like my coworkers know that, so they'll take over usually where I'm supposed to be speaking because I just really not comfortable with that.
Wow. Okay.
So this
Yeah.
helps because you don't see me.
But I hear you. But I hear you. No, Miss Yaya says I'm doing it right now, listening in and answering myself. So she's talking. You're talking to yourself, Miss Yaya. Little White Fairy says Oakland is doing wonderful. Yeah, she's doing great. You're doing. You sound natural to me. Let's see, Miss Yaya, Sister Oakland. Tomorrow will be good. Also, yeah, tomorrow. Tomorrow, maybe you might want to jump on tomorrow. But yeah, and I think that that's what's good. And once again, going back to what I was talking about, that this is the type of camaraderie that we have. Like we don't have any problems having these conversations. Talking to each other like this. I'm glad that you jumped on. And I wish more people would jump on. I'm not like I see, for example, like Skittles and shit. Like he's always wants to get like a big interview with this big podcaster or whatever. But I think some of the more interesting conversations come from talking to our own people. Talking to the people that are there in the chat that are living life, and I truly enjoy knowing more about you. And how was it for you now to be a regular? Like, how do you feel about being a regular, being a part of the explosive? How does that make you feel? How do you view it? How do you view yourself within the movement? I guess is my question. Okay, so you just oh, there you go. Okay,
Trying to
I
find my
can't. I don't.
words.
There we
I'm
go.
trying to find. I'm not saying anything. I'm just trying
Oh,
to find my words. So
okay,
it's
okay.
not that you can't
Well,
hear
while
me.
you
It's
do
just that
so,
I'm not.
while you do so, let me read this. It says the co-op is great. It takes a second to warm up, but then it just organically moves forward. The camaraderie is great. We are amongst friends there. Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Then Hangman says, yeah, yeah, and Ms. Yaya says, Hangman Primo. Go ahead, Oakland. Whenever you're ready, go ahead.
I'm definitely comfortable with everybody as far as like talking on the Discord, talking in the chat. Like right now, you're actually making me sweat. So,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
it's not you, it's me. But as far as like, I don't know really what my place is in the movement. I know what it is, and I stand for it because I hate what they've done to people, and I kind of feel like I just jump in to clown or I jump in when somebody really makes me upset, and I'm like, no, you can't be talking about so and so like that.
Well, but that's good. See, and what when you do that, when you guys do that, because we all, come out. to the defense of people. And see, and I know it's just a chat. Like we can say, but that's just a chat. That's just internet on the chat stuff. But I think that we're truly expressing what we feel at the time, what our sentiment is, and how we view or we think about something that's being said, right? So I appreciate that because I think that number one, it shows that you do have the camaraderie, that you are one of us, but secondly, that you have a voice and that you have an opinion. And I think it shows how like-minded we are. Now there are going to be things that might divide us sometimes, like how we view someone, or maybe if, let's say, we have a guest and that guest says things that a certain group is more aligned to, while there may be others that aren't aligned to those thoughts. That may sometimes cause a little bit of a conversation, right? But I think all of that is healthy, and I think it's natural because we're all different, and I think that that's our greatest strength, is that we've been able to overcome our differences, and even our strengths and our weaknesses, and we're still here supporting each other. And I support you. I really appreciate, when you speak up, when you join us, when you join the ladies of Exposed to, because when you have spoken and you've given us your thoughts, it's always been stuff that I can say, comes from a place of wisdom. I use a lot of words, but sometimes a lot of words aren't necessary, right? Sometimes a message can be delivered with a wise, simple thought that explains everything. Um, what do you most take away from the conversations that we have, the ones that you hear, the lives? Like, what is it that you like walk away with the most? Like that you're like, okay, I like that's what I enjoy the most of what I watch. What would you say that is?
Joy, listening, and viewing other people's side, and al- also viewing, like listening to the debate, but having the clear understanding that it's not an argument, it's a
Right.
discussion. And so I enjoy that. I really do enjoy that we do that. Which is why I always say, like, we agree to disagree. It is okay. Like, we don't have to like everybody. We don't have to hate everybody.
Right.
Um, but I think everybody in the movement are very smart individuals, and I always want to absorb somebody else's brain. So you are one of those. I
Oh,
think you're
really?
very knowledgeable, very patient, and well spoken. So I'm like, which is why I joined today.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much for your words. Look at what the hangman says. Says, Oakland, just know you are important to the movement and your presence is always wanted. Yeah, most definitely. I always see this, Oakland, and I want people to understand. It's like, I think that we're all capable of growth, of becoming better at what we do. That I'm a proponent of that. That's what I try to do with my channel. Even when I'm talking shit, like I'm talking shit to you, but I'm trying to like make you understand that you're fucking up because you're not seeing it the right way. You're not opening yourself up to new experiences. You're not opening yourself up sometimes to allow yourself to be vulnerable. And that was hard for me, Oakland, was learning that I also needed to be vulnerable, because only when you allow yourself to be vulnerable, to experience humility, to experience touching rock bottom, is when you can fully understand how someone can be in a bad place, how you can see that someone is going through something and have that empathy. And once I knew what empathy was all about, that made me appear to be patient, because I don't think I'm patient. But I think that because I have empathy, I'm a lot less quick to react to something because I understand it. And so maybe it appears to be patience. I'm not a very patient guy. It's just that like it's easier for me now to identify that if you're telling me this, I think it's coming from here. So my empathy gives it a buffer. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. That's- I I think also we all are good with each other because most of us grew up in the 90s and we
Yeah.
have that, I don't need to ask for help. I can just do it myself, or that's how I was raised. And my parents said, just stay quiet. My parents said, if you can't do it, then don't even start it, or,
Yeah.
tantas regañadas y so, socorrones,
Yes.
coscorrones.
Los corones.
But we're now at this age where we recognize that a lot of that was not the best way to
Yeah.
interact with
It was
us.
it was damaging. It was damaging. It was. I
Yeah,
mean,
I was trying to be nice about it. But we have each other that have been through it, and so we understand each other to a certain extent, maybe, but
yeah,
like
yeah.
can relate. Even if the
It,
conversation isn't about that, it's just the way of thinking.
I think that we truly care about seeing everyone doing good and leveling up. I think we
Yeah.
we do care about that. We're not in it just for ourselves and to see what we get out of it. We're I want everybody to prosper. I want everybody's channels, if they have a channel, to grow. You know, I was talking about that early on, that many of us of those that are within us have gone through medical procedures lately, right? And just like the support of being there, of praying for each other, of holding each other in prayers, and always putting a good word out there, like wishing people well, I think differentiates us. Like, we truly do have uh, thoughts of caring and wanting to see everybody doing well. Now, and that to me, when I see, for example, the ladies have exposed to, right? If you look, a lot of the support comes mostly from the guys, like, because there's more of us. I mean, there's more of us. There's obviously more men in the movement than there are women, and the women are there. Don't get me wrong, the women that are there are there, but there's always so many of us guys supporting the channel. What do you think about that?
The same reasoning why that stands out so much because in the 90s, we didn't grow up with guys supporting girls like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that. I mean, we went through or some of us went through the whole violence between boyfriend and girlfriend, like traumatic experiences of breaking up, getting back together, losing friends because of the boyfriend or whatever. And so we didn't have the support that as women now and you men show us and the
Is that
respect.
important to you? Is that important to you to see
Absolutely.
that?
Absolutely. I think if I would have known at that age what I know now, obviously, um, I definitely wouldn't have been involved in a lot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's why they say knowledge is power. But sometimes our wisdom is conditioned by what we feel too. Like, if we fail to learn lessons because of our emotions, it affects it stunts our emotional growth. It stunts everything else. And I think what you're seeing, Oakland, as far as like, even like, you can see it in ET, because we know ET comes from a fucking very rough background. Like, I think we can all see that. We all know that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But regardless of that, like, he's been able to put out these platforms where people can actually grow. Like, all of us are learning. Like, all of
Right.
us, all of us, all. I mean, to me, that's it's mind-boggling, because I didn't think we'd be doing what we do. And I know, and Miss Yaya has said it before, and I'm just gonna repeat it. Miss Yaya, she'll call me, and she'll be like, "Brother Frank, I got this and this and this. I'm like, all right, lay it down. Let me put it down. Let me get to work and let me help you. Like we support each other that way, you know. And that goes out to you. If you ever feel like you have a question or you want to share it, you can get at me. Like you can get at all of us. And I think that it's that openness that is it's hard to find in the real world, let alone in this online community. You know what I mean? That to me is what's crazy about it.
Yeah, that's definitely amazing that it like como se dice? This is maybe I'm assuming not just I, but we strive for to have this type of relationship when you can be open and honest and instructive. And you can't really find that in person. Like I have obviously we always are like, my circle is small. So I had one friend that has been my friend since kindergarten and
Wow.
like swear, which was also my ex's sister. And so, but she and I have been close before and after. So it's like separate lives. And to have somebody that open and be for both of us to like not lose our friendship because we didn't work out is like not very common.
Yes.
And the other thing is that I like seeing good things happen to good people.
Yeah. That too.
But I'm also and one of the very first collectives that I went on, I was talking about being content. Like I'm content the way I am right now. Obviously, there's tóxica right here. Todavía no se va, but still, I enjoy where my career is. I like where my kids are, or now
Yeah.
my dogs are. But I cannot complain about my life. And you guys coming into my life is just that much way better.
Yeah, well, that's good to hear, and likewise, it's the same. I think all of us, feel blessed, feel good about being a part of the movement. Those of us that are here for all the right reasons, right? That understand what it is to be a part of this. One of the things that we get criticized for, and I was saying this earlier on, is that we do expect loyalty, but that's because that's all we expect. Like we're
Mhm.
not putting any expectations on people. We're not asking anybody to do anything, right? We're not asking anyone to give money. We're not asking anyone to go out there and troll people. Like people just decided to do what they do in pro of the movement on their own, and we're like, hey, more power to you. Whatever brings more people to open their eyes to who these people are, the better, right? So I think that the honesty of our relationships is that they're not transactional relationships. We're not in it to see what we can get from each other, right? We're not creating like false expectations of, oh, well, if you don't do this, if you don't do this, if you're not an active participant in this, then you're not cool anymore. All we ask of each other is just to be loyal to what we do. Like, don't go out there and act like, and I know that there's some people in my comment section that come and say, well, I'm a viewer of all channels. Whatever. If you can honestly say that and that's really who you are, and if I see you in another channel, you're not talking shit about us, whatever. I might believe it's true. I may not trust it, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. But as far
I
as people,
definitely agree with that.
yeah, but as far as people coming in here acting a certain way, going somewhere, and then talking shit about us or celebrating when others on that platform are talking shit about us, then I question it. And I think that that's the only thing that I think also differentiates us is that if you're going to be involved, we do question and we do expect you to be loyal. We do expect people to have a certain level of loyalty to what we do, just because I think that in the end, no matter how much shit we talk, no matter who we get at and how we get at them, the intentions in the end are really the best and the purest of intentions. I don't know what you
Right.
think about that. Well, but before you answer that, So Looney Tunes said everyone is equal in the movement. That is correct. Everybody
Mhm.
is. The hangman says ferret Looney, okay, and little white ferret smiles. And she also said you're never too old to learn. Okay, Oakland, what do you think about what some of what I just said?
It's being together.
Mhm.
And I don't know if you've noticed, but, and I don't think I'm totally off on this, but I think a lot of channels have now started from within us, which
Yes.
is one of those things. Like I said, I like good things happening to good people. Like you're motivated to start your own channel, probably partially in the experience you've had with the family, so to speak.
Yes.
And we're all here for you, and we're going to go and support you. And
Thank
it's just, like I said, we do a lot of shit talking, but we definitely like are here for each other, and we support each other, and we have that positivity that doesn't necessarily has to be spoken about every day,
you.
but we
Right,
just know
right.
it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I think that the reason why we've been like mentioning it lately it's just because there's been a lot of open like discussions as well. Like I mean, I think you watch my lives and you've noticed that like on a couple of them I've had people with difference of opinions or that have had conflicts internally with some of us. For example, yesterday was an example of that, but just being able to have the conversations, being able to be honest about our thoughts, our opinions, and we can be caring, but that does not necessarily mean that because I care for you I'm going to accept what you're telling me as truth, or I'm going to accept your excuses. No, I'm still going to hold you accountable. And I think that that's what makes us who we are, is that we love each other, but we respect each other, that we're going to hold each other accountable, and but we can still continue rocking with each other, and I think
And we
it's
look out for each other in the form that, like you said, if somebody's watching someone else's channel that we don't necessarily get along with, but you're only watching it, okay, fine. But if you're actually reacting to the negativity for us and supporting that, then it's like, okay, mm, it's just not. Like, you want to stay over there, stay over there. Don't pretend that you're here.
yes. Has there been something in particular that has bothered you the most? I mean, past or present, something that like that you saw either from the two individuals that we always go after, or from the trolls, or from whatever. Has there ever been anything that has got your blood boiling, like you're like, fuck, I can't believe this shit.
Well, I mean, definitely Skittles with Ricky and Kim. So
Okay.
it's like when that all came out, I felt really hurt because I was listening to his lives during that time where he was like that his cousin was in jail and how people were like, "Oh, I'm gonna send you some money so you could put it on his books," and or that he was in the hospital and then this and that. And then for it to come out like that, okay. Like obviously you're talking about the roaches talking to each other and talking to you, so obviously the stories aren't real like that. But that's where we come to now. That's something personal.
Yeah.
And so that's definitely not okay. And why put him in that type of light? And granted, we don't know him, but I mean, your family knows him, and you're talking about him like that. And, you know,
Yeah, I think that for me was definitely one of many, right? But
yeah.
one of the many worst ones, right? One of the many worst ones, because I mean, look, Oakland, I can sit down and watch a video now, any video, that they've put out. It could be a live, it could be a video, it could be like if it's Gunner, it could be one of his super fucking bullshits. If it's fucking Joker, any of his prison or Wes Watson, anything that I open up to watch, I can fucking detect all of the bullshit. And you know it's fucked up because you're like, man, like these fools are like seriously like playing with people's intelligence. And you know, look, I know that it's entertainment, whatever, but as a subscriber, if I know that what you're telling me is bullshit, there's gonna be a point in which I'm gonna be like, man, fuck your bullshit. Like I want to hear real shit. Like, you know, talk about something real. And if there's nothing real to talk about, then just don't fucking bring anything up. Because if I want to bullshit, I'll just bullshit myself, you know, or I'll look for another channel where they can bullshit me a lot better than you can. You know what I mean? But
Yep.
yeah, I mean, I think that there's been a lot of harm done by these two men. But yes, that one was definitely one of the worst. Now, were you around or did you experience the threats that they made directly, like the ones for to Jerry and APA, like how they treated? Did you watch those when they happened or afterwards?
Let me say one thing first, and then I'll get to that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I started listening or watching Joker, and I
Yeah,
mentioned before in the Discord about my aunt and uncle passing 1 month from each other. And that was around the time I suddenly started watching and I enjoyed it because he was just being a clown. He was reacting to the guy that was giving his reviews on fast food and stuff like that. But he wasn't mean. It was just funny. It
yeah,
wasn't mean, like kind of how he did with What's Watson and making fun of how the feet were gone or whatever. But it was funny. And then he did it with Gunner, and it was mean. And that like completely I even sent him a message. I thought that was mean. That wasn't
yeah,
like you should stick to doing it on your own because it was just funny. He was just clowning. He wasn't talking about the guy being hella fat and you know, he wasn't talking about anything like that. It was more like, oh, you have some ketchup right here on your chin, right there, right there. It was just something stupid and funny. Now, I was there for both lives for APN.
oh really?
I was there for both of them, and obviously the first one was early on, so I understood what was going on, but I didn't understand like why were they both ganging up on L? And I just couldn't understand it.
Yeah,
And then and that was the first one where Joker was supposed to be a mediator,
yeah,
and it didn't turn out that way. And so I was like, well, that's okay. And then the other one, I was actually on APA's live or watching APA's live when he called into theirs. And so
the whole no comadres one.
I thought it was hella funny. I knew right away he was joking with them. So when they started going off just from the very first thing, I was like, are they fucking kidding? Like, para eso lo querían ahí. Like,
Yeah, that was crazy. Hey, look, we got
his
exposed tube in the
composure.
house. Saludos exposed tube. We got Oakland exposed tube live and direct, having a conversation, chopping it up. Nice to see you, man. Shout out to ET. Shout out to the exposed tube movement. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Yeah, oh, Mahal, but continue, Oakland, please.
Um, like Elle's composure, I thought was amazing. Like
Yes.
he really could have said stuff, and he like really held back. And I know he regrets
Yeah.
not saying certain things, and we always get that way, you know. Oh, I should
Yeah.
have said this. I should have
After the
said that.
fact, like, I could have said this.
Right.
Like, yeah, yeah,
Uh-huh. But like he composed himself so well that he just kind of reassured me that yeah, I need to keep watching L. Like they are really just gone left field. Don't even. And so I've been kind of
yeah.
keeping it out since
Look,
then.
I stopped watching. I used to watch Joker and then I would watch Skittles by default because when they would go live, I would see it. And then some of the things were funny, but not everything. But I was like, I gave him credit for trying. You know what I mean?
Right.
But when they started doing like their panels and getting drunk and acting stupid, and it started getting like lewd, like making lewd comments. I'm like, well, weren't these
Yes.
the guys that were talking about pleasure and everything? Like, what happened to all that? It all went out the window, and that turned me off. And then when I came back, he had already made the threads, and they were starting to go into TikTok, and that's when I discovered what Exposed to was doing. Yeah, that's right. Shout out to Oakland and everything. Yeah, Exposed to giving you a shout out right there. That's right.
See,
And that's basically what it's been. It just so happens that I came in at right at the time when the separation happened between ET and the trolls, the king of the trolls, right? I came in like right around that time, so
but I
maybe
did get
uh
in
huh,
before you did. Yeah.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
I was shocked when the flip happened. I was like,
okay,
wait, what?
yeah,
Is this real?
yeah.
Like, I really couldn't believe it.
Yeah, so I came in right at like I think that week even that day I might have been even come in that same day, which is when I put out my video talking about I was going to be done with Exposed to. That's when it happened. It was around right around that time when that whole break of all that shit happened, like with Exposed to and the trolls. Yeah, I came out around that time. Let's see. Hey, what's up, APA? Send mine to everyone. Send ours back. We send ours back.
I am.
Yeah, L's right here. Yeah, what's up, Miss Yaya? Still here listening. So yeah, but I wanted to make it a point, and I think that, and I'm glad that you jumped on because I think it illustrates the fact that what we talk about is real. The camaraderie is real. I've already had like numerous people of the movement on my live, and it's always the same. Even in those conversations where we've had differences of opinion, you know, I've tried to be respectful, even if I don't agree, even if you get me heated, because I understand that we all have a different point of view, right? Has there ever been something where you were like, fucking Frank, I don't agree with that shit? Huh, Oakland?
Discord one time, but I'm like, it's not that serious. So it's,
You gotta tell me.
I
You
like
gotta
lo suyo. I don't remember what it was. I don't
tell
remember what it was.
me.
But I know there's been
Mentirosa,
times where I'm like,
mentirosa.
okay, especially on the Discord, there's been times where I'm like defending somebody or talking good about somebody, and I'm like, that's probably gonna get me kicked off. I don't know.
Nah, 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 not at all. Those things, they're always going to be differences of opinion because we know how we rock with certain people. You know what I mean? But I came to the conclusion that the majority wins. That's how I just handle that shit. It's funny how split loyalties can be stressful. Yeah, man. Let's
See,
see, APA. Why you let your homie talk down on our loyal sisters? G Slaughter's
heard about that
lurking.
whole thing. That part is iffy because Elle doesn't even know about ladies of exposed to apparently. And the way the conversation went, it was like Elle was talking about his channel, like um
Yeah, El Manager, if you have something to tell me, jump on my live and we'll talk as men. Me and Oakland have been in some knockdown drag out fights. Look, Jay Slaughter says that you guys have been in some knockdown drag out fights. Is that true, Oakland?
a little bit. No, he's lying. He's lying.
Yeah. No, look,
It's all
so
about the twins.
no, but see, you know what it is, and I think I've already kind of explained it, Miss Oakland, why it is to me, because the only factor that we do ask for is loyalty. Like that's all we ask for. You know what I mean? So that to me is my only thing is that if you've proven that you're not loyal, like you're out there talking shit, it's like I'm not going to show you respect when you come in. That's really what it is. But other than that, everybody has their opinion, and everyone's gonna feel how they're gonna feel about certain people. But if like the majority decides that someone or somebody shouldn't be like messed with, I'll just ride with that. I'll be like, fuck it, whatever, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, because at the end of the day, I'm down with I'm down with what we're doing. Like, I'm down with us, like what we need to do. I'm not gonna get into like all of those little differences. I'll be like, we're gonna be there all day también because we're all different. I don't know if that makes sense.
I still think that way in certain aspects because there's those that, people are like, oh, okay, don't, this person's not that great. And so we believe in it because in reality, that person isn't very involved where we know them
Yeah,
that way or feel like we know them that way, which is, when I come to the, like, not defense, but when I'm giving the other side or playing devil's advocate, it's because I feel like I know not necessarily the person, but the way they think, or have heard them enough
yeah,
to, in my opinion, understand the way they think,
yeah,
which is why, with that conversation about the ladies I've exposed to, I think cada quien tenía su tema. I
yeah.
think Gray may have been talking about us, but I don't believe Elle was in that conversation. It was like cada loco con su tema.
Yeah, yeah. Look, here's my only thing. My only thing is that if I'm a supporter, I'm a supporter. And I try to be a supporter of the channels that I always shout out, right? Like, I always shout out Terps, exposing the white to Yarda, ladies of exposed to APA, right? Shout out to UL for being in here. You know what I mean? I give a shout out to Slugs, to 16 to
Mhm,
Life, and anybody that's cool with us. You know what I mean? And if I, for example, let's say that we're on a live, like we are right now. I've had people try to come in and talk shit, and I'll be like, I'm not gonna say, just because you're saying doesn't mean that I'm gonna agree to it. I'm not gonna talk about it. I'd rather not even, I'd rather not have that conversation, and I'll let that person know we're not gonna talk about it. And
yeah.
I think that that sometimes is the best way to avoid seeming
Not
as
not
though,
every discussion is necessary. It's true.
yeah,
It's like, no, mejor just let's go back to the other subject we were on. Like,
yeah, sometimes it's best to, yeah, you know what, let's avoid that topic, because some topics should be avoided until everybody's ready to have that a serious conversation about it, but if it hasn't really been talked about, if it's something that's just looming in the air, it's going to take someone to say, okay, you know what, we need to talk about this, fuck it, let's get it straightened out. But even when that happens, we all have to have like the best intention of listening and really wanting to work it out in the best positive way. Now that's how I see it. But if people aren't ready to do that, it's best to avoid it. It's best, but that, once again, that's my opinion. Like, it's best to avoid something because I've made mistakes, talking about shit that maybe at the moment I wasn't really prepared to talk about. And I was like, fuck, I should have just waited. I should have maybe found a better moment. Well, fuck it. What's done is done. Ya estuvo. It is what it is. But, if in a perfect, more controlled world, I think that there are topics that we should just wait. You know what I mean? We should just, let's avoid it for now until we have the right people, until we have the right participants in the discussion. Then maybe we could talk about it. I don't know how you
and
feel about
all conversations have to be on the line, really.
it. Let's see. The whole issue. Let's see what APA says. The whole issue is that if I mention I had APA ladies, people take it as shade, and that's some pretty shit. I just had this convo with ET, and he knows what it is. It's just crazy for real, no biggie. Okay, well, the whole issue is that if I mention I've had APA ladies, okay, well,
Yeah,
I don't,
look,
yeah, I don't think so. I think that right there, for example, that like why would anyone have an issue with something that you've done? It's sort of like when people have an issue with me because of the style that I use with my videos. A lot of people think that I stole from chemo, right? And that, that and all of these things, but all of us have adopted styles from everybody. And there have been times in which maybe you had an idea, right? But maybe the idea didn't go through, or maybe you didn't really work on it the way somebody else did. There should not be any type of hate or discussion or anger if it's a fact. Like, why would you get mad at facts? You know what I mean? That doesn't make sense. What do you think, Oakland?
And also to L, like that's not even
Yeah.
that ladies have exposed to is totally different from love affairs. Like
Mhm.
I wish you would start up love affairs again. Like that would have been a good channel for me to watch, especially long ago. But the ladies have exposed to is different, and so we're not comparing them. The whole conversation it was about Gray talking about the ladies have exposed to, whereas you were talking about love affairs. And so that's where the disconnect is. That's why I said, like, watch the ladies have exposed to. It's
Mhm.
totally different. It's not the same thing as with the ladies of APA. And I always got your back. So just know it sounds worse than what it is. It's really not.
I
That
think I
conversation is
think the
really
only
not
thing
like
so just to clear the air, I think the only reason why people had a problem with what Green Man said was, when they were talking about like why is it necessary? I mean, I don't think a lot of our channels are necessary. You know,
saying that it's like
right?
we're not going to get
It's
anywhere
right. It's
and
more of
fuck
a,
that channel
yeah.
and
It's just
we're
an
not going to get
outlet. Like,
monetized. We're
yeah,
not
it's
trying to
like,
get money.
yeah, it's an outlet. It's an outlet for people to express themselves however they want to express themselves. And I believe, like, I agree with this. We're dealing with hundreds of different personalities and perspectives, and if you're sensitive, you don't belong on YouTube. I agree, but I also think that all of us have standards, right? We all have standards to the type of people that we want within our circle and the type of people that we want to avoid.
Audience.
That's why there have been so many differences of opinion. That's why there have been so many troll wars and bullshit
Says
like
there's no
that.
audio.
Yeah,
Wait,
because there are
Hangman says
people
there's
that
no
are
audio.
truly sensitive. Mhm.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
Hangman
hear you.
says there's no audio.
Who?
Hangman said there's no audio. Oh, the audio's good.
No, he
Like,
says audio good. So I don't know. Now he says audio good.
what happened?
Go ahead.
I think I.
No, I can
Yeah.
hear you though. Go ahead.
No, I just saw that he said no audio, but then now he said the audio is good.
Yeah, no, don't worry about it. All right, so look, ill manner. I didn't realize it was such a volatile topic. I don't think it's volatile, bro. I just think that once again, it's just shit that needs to be talked about. With clearer heads. Like, I don't think anyone should take offense to any of that. Like,
Mm-mm.
if you're stating a fact, why would I take offense to that? Like when people say, "Look, I'll give you an example. Look, look at this." So it says chemo flicks funny, you Frankie not funny. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not your cup of tea, and I'm not doing what I do for you. I do it, what I do is because I want to do it, and if people enjoy it, cool. And I'm glad that there are people that are tuning in, that are enjoying what I do, that are subscribing, and that's really what I want. That's my motivation. As far
Mm-mm.
as my channel is concerned, and I've been very clear about it, I want to grow naturally, organically. I want to put out the content that I put out, how I do things, whether I borrow from other people, I'm going to turn it around and make it my own. And I don't think anyone can feel that they've got the most original content ever, because lives have existed before we were here. YouTube has existed before we had a channel. People were talking about other people on YouTube before we even started talking about other people on YouTube. So I think
Mm.
it's erroneous to try to put that type of, like, to attack people because of originality when we're not here reinventing the wheel. I just think that we need to be respectful, right? And when people are blatantly disrespectful and are targeted in their disrespect, like this guy, then I have a right to be able to say I don't rock with people like this. Like I don't fuck with you. Like why would I want to fuck with you? And I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that. You
Right.
know, just like there's nothing wrong with saying, I agree with everybody. Everyone has an opinion and they can express it, and I'm not going to take offense to it. If someone says, I will take offense to your expression, I will take offense to that idea because it's wrong, everybody has a right to feel how they want to feel. What do you think, Oakland?
And that sounds like a you problem. So
What? I'm sorry? I couldn't hear you. Oakland, I didn't hear that last thing. Go ahead.
that that sounds like a you problem.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why there's so many different channels on YouTube. Like you watch what you want to watch. I mean, there's like, for example, some people have recommended channels to me where I go and watch them. I'm like, I don't know how this is entertaining, But then other people recommend them, and like, okay, this is something I can get down with. So, para, como dicen, para gustos, sabores. There's a saying, right?
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder type of thing.
Yeah, look, love at first has nothing to do with APLAs. All right, I don't know about that. Um, no need to get so defensive, to be honest. If you feel like you did nothing wrong, then maybe try not to get triggered by the question. Audio good? Okay. I don't understand what you're doing, Hangman. Let me see. The link is pinned, APA. The link is pinned. Hey, Frank is pretty funny. I'm gonna put the link again. I'm gonna put the link again. Give me a second,
It's
man.
talking about ladies of exposed tube, no? Or which one? Which link?
I don't know. I don't know, but if it's that one, it's good. Let's see. Funnier than the trolls for sure. Okay. Frank's cool, so Jetstone can do one. All right. Let's see. We're hearing this from Jetstone. With that loser's taste in humor and lack of creativity, who cares what the basic? Yeah, but I mean, if we were to take his opinion as real, everyone's entitled to their opinion. All right, let's see. All right, got to get back to work. Wanted to jump on to clarify, but maybe another time I'll speak. Okay, all right, cool. You can do so. I mean, the it's right there. You can jump on, bro. I just
I
wasn't
think he
getting
was on a
to.
break.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right.
Mhm.
All right. Yeah, I don't think there's a need to clarify, but if you have to, bro, go ahead, man. I just think that people shouldn't be so hung up on shit. Like, if I have an idea, I'm sure that the idea that I've had, I'm sure other people have had the same idea. But
Mhm.
if I'm able to execute it and get it running and and create a following, that shouldn't be anyone's fault, right? That does not speak on anyone. It just so happens that sometimes we just have the resources that others don't, and we other people have resources that we don't, right? So
Mhm.
sometimes we can get things off the ground and sometimes we can't.
So don't believe there's anything to clarify because one doesn't have to do with the other, really. And
Yeah,
that's what we're trying to get across.
yeah, one
But
thing, yeah, exactly. I mean, if one thing, yeah, one thing doesn't have to do with anything, it is what it is. I think that we shouldn't get hung up on things like that, but hey, but it is what it is, Oakland. Oakland, do you have any questions for me? Is there anything that you want to know about me that you've wanted to ask me that you've never gotten around to, but now you got me here so you can ask?
the Univision thing that you were on, I thought that was kind of cool. Like,
Okay.
I thought that was cool. Um,
Hold on, let me put it one more time, bro. Let me put it. It's because it's not obviously, as you can see. This is Restream. It's not Streamyard. I like it though. I like it. All right, cool. Go. Yeah. So go ahead, Oakland. So what about the Univision thing did you think was cool?
like the whole conversation was interesting about both you and your friend. I guess it was what it sounded like.
Yeah.
Having to come out here, and so that when you talk about going back to El Salvador or going to El Salvador, it's I find it a very interesting conversation or story to tell that when you got there, what the violence was like and what it is now and how is it's transitioned. And I'd even mentioned about the whole colon to dollars. Like I didn't even know it happened, but not that I would really know, but
Right, right.
just from my daughter being half Salvadorian, I just find it interesting sometimes. So I think it's a cool story to tell.
Yeah, and I've thought about it, and I'm thinking about doing it, but you just we have to be very careful with what is said and what isn't said. Sometimes, so I have to be very careful in how to draft it because I do want to put something out there. As a matter of fact, I was even thinking about going to like one of like the like our markets here and just walking around and guiding you guys through some of the stuff that's down here. Like I do plan on making those types of videos, but I'm also very careful as to what can be said and what can't be said, and just I'll just leave it at that. But other
Yeah.
than that, yeah, I agree. And one of the things that I like, Oakland, is learning from people. And we're all from different
Mhm.
walks of life, right? We all
Right.
come from different walks of life. We all have mixes, you know, and it's all good. Let's see. Nah, we good, bro. It's nothing bad. I just was talking about the difference between APA ladies and love affairs, and you specifically said, yeah, you don't know about you. I said you don't know about that, and you weren't around. I don't know. I said that. Me? That I
Said
don't know
that.
about.
No, I'm the one
I
that said it. Because I said he
don't.
doesn't know about ladies of exposed to because he said he's never seen it before.
Oh,
I was the one that said it.
okay. I said mine's got to go. Yes, I was. Oh, okay. All right. All right. All right.
Be
I
safe,
mean,
though.
if you feel like you got to clear it up, bro, that's on you. I mean, sometimes we feel strongly about things. Yeah, I don't remember saying that. I mean, I don't even know about it. This is the first I've heard about it. What I all I said was that the only thing that people took offense to was the fact that when the ladies of exposed to was talked about, something about money and things like that was talked about, and I didn't agree with that. I didn't agree with that being a factor. But other than that, everybody's going to have a difference of opinion. It is what it is. My bloodshot eyes look like night crawlers. Look, I'm not having people starting on you, especially as Oakland doing so well. No, we're good. We're all
Thank
good.
you. I
Yeah, you're
probably
doing
got
well.
you on longer than you planned on being here. ¿No ibas a
No, no,
salir?
no, no. I'm about to jump off. We're about to stop. But that's why I asked you if you had anything. So look, Oakland. Look, with me, it's this. Just so you know, I think I'm pretty open about who I am. Like whenever I come on, I speak my mind. I speak from the heart. I'm honest about my impression of things, and I always want to be that way. I'm always going to be honest. I'm always going to put out the content that I think needs to be out there, and I'm going to continue rocking with ET till the wheels fall off. And as long as I'm here, as long as I have an internet connection and a YouTube channel, I'm going to do what I do. you know
We're here
is there
for it.
something that you want, that you wish that I did more of or less of?
Great.
Uh-huh.
I think that if you have a YouTube channel, you're creative. And creativity amazes me because I don't have it. I My brothers have it. Like they can come up with all kinds of different things. And I'm like, why did you even think about that? And so that's what I enjoy of all these channels. That like how did you come up with like just the different digital images and the formatting and the thumbnails and all that. Like, it's fascinating to me.
Yeah.
So I'm easily entertained.
Well, I'm glad that my videos entertain you. I'm gonna continue putting out content so that you feel entertained. Like I always say, I want to make I want to let my subscribers know and have them feel that their subscription, them signing up to my channel is worth it, and they're always going to get the best for me. And I'm always gonna try to do my best. Now with these lives, I'm gonna continue probably doing lives every day, right? Just take my time, shoot it, shoot the shit with you guys, have you guys jump on. And I really appreciate you, Oakland. I really do appreciate everything that you do. I think that you're a very intelligent, very wise person. The fact that you've been with me as long as you have, you know, overcoming your obstacles and your fears, but doing it in such a manner that you sound like a natural. I really appreciate that. I want you to know that you've done an excellent job. You really do sound natural.
You, I appreciate that. It's a good thing that my camera's not on. But I do want to tell you, keep dropping that knowledge in it. Keep not dropping that knowledge because I want to keep absorbing it. So
Well, I
good job.
will. I'm gonna join. I'm not gonna join every collective because sometimes it does get tiring. Because I do wake up early. I want to be in all of them. So as long as I can jump on, I'm always gonna jump on. I'm always gonna have lives where we can talk about anything and just come up with different things. Look, Ilmer says, Frank, I'd love to see more long videos. Okay, I can try to do longer videos. I need to get through some of the red tape with YouTube, but yeah, I'll do that. Maybe more papas and longer lives and a personal call to let me know when you're jumping. Set the notification, bro. I guess I gotta start asking people to put the notifications on. Yeah, I'll do more papas. I'm gonna do them every day as much as I can. I stole the name Talking Papas. That is now my name. That is now the name of these lives is Talking Papas. What do you think about that, Oakland? That I stole the name.
I like it. I think it's cool.
Look, Sister Oakland is the go. Yeah, Sister Oakland, hey, you're always invited, Sister Oakland, to jump on. You can consider this your channel as well. You know that we've got much love for you. We respect you. We truly appreciate you being here, just like I appreciate all of you guys that are watching, all of you guys that are on the chat, everyone that gets in the lives with Exposed to that are a part of the revolution. And to all the channels that are friendly, man. APA, shout out to you, man. Thanks for jumping on. Slugstown, Chill, 16 to Life. You got Sooners, we got Terps, ladies, ET, and my channel. We're going to continue working together, doing what we do, putting out
Stan
content.
has his channel now too. Don't forget.
Oh, yeah, Taco Stain. And who else? I'm sorry?
I was saying Taco Stan now has his channel. Don't
Yeah,
forget.
Taco saying, and anybody, Little White Ferret, thank you so much. Hey, man, we need to hear more music out of Little White Ferret. Pengu, who's been putting it down as well. Everybody, that's been helping along. Thank you guys so much. Miss Oakland, anything else you want to say before we call it quits?
Thank you for having me and your patience.
No, no, you know what's up. You know what's up. Thank you for being here. I'm gonna kick you out. I'm gonna kick you. All right. Hey, we're going to keep talking soon. All right. Have a great day. Have an excellent rest of
You
the day.
too.
Stay
Have
blessed.
fun.
Bye bye. Take care. All right. So yeah, we had Oakland. We had Oakland in the house. Thank you so much, Oakland. Can I pass out now? Yeah, you can go pass out now. More knowledge we can't get in college, Frank, in the direct style menudo fashion. I'm gonna steal that next. No, thank you guys for jumping on. I think conversation's important. Not everything needs to be discussed, but some things do. And until we feel good in our hearts with what we've talked about, as long as we've put it out there, if the other person doesn't want to hear it, if they don't want to accept it, that's a them problem. That's a you problem. It's not a me problem. I'm going to continue putting out content, guys. I'm going to continue being here, doing what I do, writing hard with the ladies of Exposed to, with the Exposed to Revolution, with the ET channel, and everybody putting it out there. Shout out to everyone out there. Thank you so much for being here. And until next time, guys, which will be tomorrow.